Welcome. And at the moment, my wish in welcoming you is certainly welcome you to this meditation and, in a sense, to IMC online. But I would like really to welcome you to yourself. That when we sit down to meditate, ideally we welcome ourselves. We offer a welcome to however we are at the moment. Sometimes we're a stranger to ourselves. Sometimes we know ourselves all too well. Sometimes we come in all kinds of moods. It's like a stranger or a neighbor who you never know. They come knocking on your door and they have a need, and you welcome them in. So are you. Meditation is a time to welcome yourself in. And when we meditate, there is healthy or unhealthy fear. There is helpful and unhelpful fear. There's fear that pulls us away from the present moment. There's fear in which we freeze or get lost. There's fear which keeps us apart from our experience of the moment. There's also the fear that keeps us in the present. There's a fear that keeps us close to a sense of peace, non-conflict, ease or calm. And that is the fear of losing that. The fear of losing our balance, losing our peace, losing our well-being. Because that's a worthwhile fear to have, because two ways. When we lose our well-being, our balance, then we're much more likely to create more problems for ourselves, more stress. When we protect our peace, if there's some fear like that, don't lose that. It's dangerous to lose this peace, dangerous to lose myself, dangerous to lose my welcome to myself and really be present here. That fear might encourage us to let go of the other fears that take us away. That fear leads us, maybe motivates us to protect our mindfulness, our presence, our being here. And in doing that, this secondary, this protecting our practice, protecting our inner well-being, if there's fear connected to that, a protective fear, that hopefully won't be stressful because it's pointing you back to that place of the absence of stress. It's the protection, it's the safeguard, it's the fear that points us back where there is no fear, because we know it's dangerous to lose it. So here we are. Welcome. And to gently close your eyes. And what do you welcome? What is happening with you right now that you can open your door and welcome in? And this is what's happening. And you are the welcomer. If you're distressed, you're not the distress. You welcome the distress. If you're calm, you are not the calm. You welcome it. Whatever there is, welcome it here in this body, this mind. Feeling and sensing how you are. And then within this body, allowing yourself to take a few deeper breaths. As you inhale, feel a fuller, maybe stronger connection to what is here for you, how you are, what you're feeling. And a longer exhale than usual. Let go, relax, soften the body. Here. The inhale is almost like a welcome. Here, let me feel you. Let me recognize what's happening. And exhaling, settling in, relaxing into the middle of it. Letting your breathing become normal. And still on the exhale, soften, relax wherever you can in your body, even if it's micro muscles. Let there be a gentle movement of relaxation throughout the body, sometimes in particular spots, sometimes the whole body. Almost as if you're relaxing into how you are. Relaxing into what you welcome here, now. And then continue as you exhale to relax a bit. But let the welcomer relax. That part of you that knows, that feels, that recognizes what's happening. Let that relax so that your awareness, your mindfulness, has no fear in it, no hesitation. Relax the witnesser, the welcomer, the awareness of it all. And then sitting here so far, is there something about how you are, some inner sense of balance or calm or peace, inner sense of openness and welcoming, something that's appropriate to protect? It's appropriate. There's a healthy concern, maybe fear, of drifting away from being connected to yourself, being present here. There's a danger in drifting away from whatever degree of calm or presence here there is. Maybe there's a way of being motivated by that fear, that concern, to love and stay close to. That place within where there's a sense of well-being, or the place within where there could be a sense of well-being. Stay close. Stay close to the place that's safe inside. through these minutes of meditation, have you come to a time, a place where you have a clear sense that there's something here to protect, to nourish, to support, to safeguard, some sense of well-being or clarity or calm? And maybe there's a healthy concern, fear, that motivates you to stay close to that well-being, not to lose it. And as we come to the end of this sitting, perhaps you can consider whether there's a healthy fear, that is the fear of losing our respect and love and care for others, even losing it temporarily or having it be eclipsed by other feelings. The fear of losing our kind regard of others. And maybe this is worth protecting. Maybe there's never an occasion to be mean or hostile or unfriendly. And so to fear going in those directions, and for that fear to be motivating to stay close to your kindness, your friendliness. Where maybe it's meaningful for you to wish well in others. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. Thank you. So we come to the last and fifth talk on fear, and hope that during this week I've been able to offer you some new perspectives on practicing with fear, living with fear, understanding fear, and I'll continue with that today. And I thought of maybe that the subject for today would be the wisdom of fear. And part of the wisdom of fear is that, or how to understand that the wisdom that fear can be wise, is when we think that one of the functions of fear is protection. It's an attempt to protect something. And then what are we protecting? What is being threatened? And some things are worth protecting. Some things are not worth protecting. And so there is this notion in Buddhism that there is healthy fear and unhealthy fear, or helpful fear and unhelpful fear. So to have a categorical attitude towards fear as being wrong or bad is not so useful. What's useful is to practice with fear, to normalize fear, to not identify with fear, to learn to hold fear with kindness, hold it gently so you can really see it and know it, and it's helpful to have it sit on your shoulder and accompany you rather than be you. All things that I've talked about this week. And but then it's also important to be able to look deeply at fear, and is this healthy, this fear? Is this helpful, this fear? Is this really protecting me in an important way? Is it really a protection? Or is it the opposite? Am I actually more in danger by having this fear? Because some fears and anxiety, especially anxieties that are quite strong, probably put us in greater danger than if we don't have it. We're more likely to make mistakes. We're more likely to act impulsively. We're more likely to Some anxieties are self-fulfilling, that if we're anxious something's going to happen, that very anxiety makes it more likely to happen. Sometimes it's the analogy, it sometimes is used around dogs. If you're afraid of a dog, the dog is more likely to attack you. And so the more anxiety there's around the dog, we want to protect ourselves, but the very movement of anxiety is the thing that keeps us from being protected. And so we have to kind of look and what are we afraid of here? And is it healthy or not healthy? And if it's a healthy fear, we're protecting something worthwhile, then the fear has a function of being motivating. There's energy in fear. And that energy can be motivated to do something, to actually do something that protects what needs to be protected. And sometimes that's to do things in the world. And maybe put a lock on your door, for example, if that's what's going to keep you safe. And sometimes it's to really practice careful self-monitoring so that you don't succumb to unhelpful states of mind. You don't succumb to anxiety or anger or hostility or greed. And you don't succumb to attachments that are maybe even the source of the fear itself. And so the fear, healthy fear, protects what's needs, can be protected. It's helpful to protect. And so what are some of the things that are helpful and healthy to protect? Certainly our integrity, our ethical integrity, because one of the sources of fear is when we live unethically and afraid of being caught or afraid of our own conscience. It's also there's a fear of wrongdoing. So there's a fear. So that there's a healthy fear of, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to lie. I don't want to get into that kind of situation. And that keeps us from doing it. Keeps us even getting into those situations. And the deeper and more peaceful meditators tend to become, the more likely they're going to have a fear for somehow harming themselves with their ethics, or harming anybody with their ethics. The fear of causing harm. That's a healthy fear. And it can be an anxious fear. It can be a neurotic fear not to harm others. And that maybe won't be so helpful. But there is a healthy not wanting to cause harm. It's like the heart sings when it doesn't cause harm. The heart stops singing when you think about causing harm or think we have caused harm. And so that's worth protecting, being close to. And then there's a sense of well-being we get, whatever that is. As I use that word very vaguely, that as we practice, as we go through our lives, there are times when we feel a degree of peace, happiness, connectedness that is nourishing, supportive for us, brings us joy and delight. And that's worth protecting. It's remarkable how easy it is to give it up, how easy it is to get distracted and caught up in sometimes very petty concerns that to really wipe away the sense of balance, the sense of inner strength or peace that we might have. And that's so it's worth protecting that. So how do we protect that? Maybe we protect it by being careful with what we watch on TV. Maybe we're careful what who we spend time with or how much time we spend with people. Maybe we're careful about where we go or the activities we do, because some activities, like watching a shopping channel or looking at catalogs, maybe stimulates unhealthy desires and attachment, and that stirs up and causes us to lose the fact that we were pretty content before we looked at the catalog. And so to to be so fear. The wisdom of fear is to understand that fear is trying to protect something, and is what it's protecting worthwhile? Is it appropriate? Is it helpful for us? So there's this used to be read quite a bit. This quote by Krishnamurti. There is fear as long as you want to be secure. Secure in your marriage, secure in your job, secure in your position, secure in your responsibility, secure in your ideas, in your beliefs, secure in your relationships to the world and in your relationship to God. At the moment the mind seeks security or gratification in any form, at any level, there is bound to be fear. So there can be attachment to a security, to a certainty in a world that has much more uncertainty than we often will admit. And so is all these things we try to search, try to hold on to for our security, and then is that really the right place to feel secure? For the Buddha, the ultimate security, the ultimate safety is found in letting go, is found in peace, is found in non-attachment, non-clinging. And that can make us feel very vulnerable, very challenged. But to find strength, courage, stability in that place of non-clinging, non-attachment, and realize that that is portable, and learn how to take that with us in all the insecure situations in life, all the uncertain places in life. Life is uncertain. There is dangers in life. But the biggest danger is that of what we do to ourselves through our attachments, through our karma, the actions we do, through the dispositions of the mind to hate or to be greedy or be caught up in something so that we lose ourselves in anxiety. There is a place of security within that is worth protecting, is worth finding, getting close to. And that place where it's a place within that cannot be threatened. No matter what happens in the world, that place is not touched. And to be centered there, to know that, is the ability to go through the world without fear. But until we get to that place, that point, any hints or sense of that possibility of that inner well-being, that moves in that direction, that can be protected. That we want to be careful for. That is worthwhile protecting. Because we're moving towards freedom. We're moving to the place where we're really bring the healthiest, the greatest health to ourselves, the greatest spiritual health, the greatest freedom to our hearts. So, fear is an all too human experience. There's healthy, and it wants to protect us. It's a kind of in and of itself a healthy movement of protecting something. So we don't want to dismiss fear. We want to be able to be friends with fear and connect to fear, see it deeply. Because as we see it deeply and are present for it, all fear, all movements of protection, probably at the very root of what they're about, is this place of ultimate safety, this desire for ultimate safety. And many fears are misunderstandings. Many fears is misunderstanding what's really important. Meditation, like meditation, hopefully will connect us to what is most important, so that we remember that as we go into the world. And we don't fear things which are not that important. That doesn't matter so much. There's plenty of things that we might fear that we don't have to worry about. So I'd like to end with a quote from Martin Luther King that brings this topic of fear into our social domain. Martin Luther King Jr. Wrote, "People fail to get along because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other." So to the degree to which we are afraid of others, maybe we haven't really gotten to know them. And maybe we really haven't let them know us. Maybe to develop real communication between people is one of the benefits of becoming wise with fear. Because then fear does not interfere with our ability to communicate, connect, and have real friendship with other people. So thank you for all this, and may you now take a time to really become wise about your fear, maybe even courageous around it. So I'm going away again next week for another week of vacation this summer, and happy that Nikki Murgafori will come back. She's come often to be my substitute and wonderful teacher. She teaches happy hour at IMC, which is a time for an hour's time for loving kindness practice in the afternoon. So she'll be here next week, and I'll be back the following. Thank you.